Hi everyone, Charlie here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this new part of my moving out diaries. Before we start, I just want to apologise for the noise of the fan in the back. It's currently 35 degrees Celsius here and there's a new heat wave right now, so I cannot turn this off. It's just not possible, so I apologise for the noise. So today we're going to talk about my favourite K-pop merch and K-pop albums because, as you know, I'm moving out and so I have to pack my K-pop collection, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share my favourite pieces of merch with you. So actually K-pop is my special interest and has been my special interest for 10 years, and I've been collecting since not quite since then, but I have been collecting for a good few years now. So I started really getting into K-pop properly 10 years ago, but I was 14 then, so I didn't have a lot of pocket money to buy albums. But I would say I have been collecting seriously now for about 7 to 8 years, so I have quite an extensive collection, which I do think is still reasonable for the amount of years that I've been into K-pop. I currently have about 160 albums and around 500 photo cards. But today I'm only going to show you my favorite pieces of merch and then a few albums that I genuinely love and adore for different reasons. Let's get into it. Before we start, there are a few things that I want to explain that are going to contextualize what I'm going to show you. So the first thing is that I really like useful merch. So merch that is not solely decorative, but merch that I can also use in my day-to-day life, or merch that I feel is going to be useful in some way in my K-pop stan life. So that's the first thing. And it will make sense when I show you some of the merch that I brought here. And the second thing is that, and I'm going to start with this merch actually, one of my favourite songs ever is Goodnight by Zero Base One. I wish you good night. And I have a really strong bond with that song. So if you know that song, you know that it samples Twinkle Twinkle Little Light. And when I was a toddler, that was actually the first song that I sang, and it's kind of always been my song with my mom. And so growing up, she bought me a lot of star themed things, and even like for one of my birthdays when I was a teenager, she bought me a banner that actually said Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So it's always been like a song that I have a very strong connection to. And then when Zero Base One released Goodnight, I just had such a strong reaction to the song, and it just resonated so much with me. And to this day, 2.5 years later, it is still my favorite Zero Base One song. And I actually have a tattoo that was inspired by Goodnight, which is on my shoulder here. So it's a moon with 9 stars, and it was inspired by Goodnight. And it is really a very important song for me. And as I said, growing up, I had a lot of stars themed things. I had a very strong interest in stars and in astronomy also when I was a young teen. And even now, like anything that is star shaped, that has stars on it, will resonate with me. And I took it even further than that, and I ended up making like anything sleeping and sleep thing like my entire personality. It's a very like strong theme, and I'm even thinking of actually collecting idol photo cards that are like in pajamas or anything like sleep related, and I'm thinking of starting a collection of these kind of photo cards. So that's how important and how big of a theme in my life it is. So with that said, I'm going to introduce you to my first piece of merch, which is obviously Zero Base One merch, and it's my 2024 season greetings. So if you're not familiar with Zero Base One, so this season greetings, so the 2024 season greetings, was actually based on Good Night, and it says good night, and they're all wearing pajamas, and like that's the main theme for this season greetings. When I saw it, I was like, I have to buy this. Obviously, I probably would have anyway, but I felt like I had never bought a season greetings before that one, and this just made me fall in love with buying season greetings, because since then I have bought like several more for different groups, and it's a kind of merch that I actually really like because it has a lot of useful items in it, like a calendar usually, and a diary or something. So it is very useful in my opinion, and this one is just, this is my entire personality in one box. So I had to get this, and all of the photo cards, like both the photo card set for the season greetings, and as well as like all of the different pre-order photo cards, they're all sleep themed, and they're always wearing pajamas, and it's just so perfect, and it literally says good night on it. So I love this, which is why when they released the season greetings, I also got this, which is a night lamp, and it says good night with a little bed. I don't really use this because it's too bright and I like sleeping in the dark, but I use this as like just deco on my shelf. And again, it's good night, so I had to get it. Which is why when Zero Base One released their most recent set of Zero Neat dolls, I also got Starship Honeybee, and it's literally so cute, and it's so me, and it's a pink star, so it's literally me, and I love her. I can't show the other two good night or like sleep related items that I wanted to show, but Zero Base One has released 3 different sets of pajamas, and I have 2 of them. The first one, they weren't Zero Neat themed, they were just like with their representative animals, and they had like their star signs on them, and I got Eugen's because his was pink, and he's a Pisces and I'm also a Pisces, so it was the Pisces constellation on the pajamas, so it has stars and it's pink and it's pajamas. I had to get it, but unfortunately it's been packed already, but I will show you a picture. And I have another pair of pajamas of Zero Base Ones, and it's the first Zero Knee set that they released, so the winter ones that are like very fluffy, and I have Honey Knees because it's pink, and obviously like how is my old bias, so yeah. They also released like summer versions, but I never got the opportunity to get those because I was unemployed when they released them, and I have never managed to find them secondhand as of right now, so it's very sad, but it's okay. However, with the Eugen pajamas, I also got a night mask, and like this is what I mean by useful merch, because this is literally the kind of item that you can need at any time, and this one is very soft, and I feel like it's very discreet merch with the blue rose on it. It just has like a little tag that's like the same face that is on the light stick and everything, and it says ZB1 on the other side of the tag. But all in all, it's a very discreet piece of merch, and I used this when I went to Korea, for example, on the plane, and this is great. Like anytime I need an eye mask, I will use that one. Okay, so to finish off with some more Zero Base One merch, because well, we have this, which is a light stick strap. So if you don't know, Zero Base One's light stick is massive. Wait, actually, let me grab it and I'll show you. So Zero Base One's light stick is massive, and it's really hard to carry around because it doesn't really fit into a bag because of its shape. So they actually released these, which are light stick straps that you can wrap around the rose on the light stick, and you can just carry it like this. And you can just carry it around like this. So I think this is very clever merch. From experience, I can tell you also that this light stick is very heavy, and throughout the concert I was actually getting cramps in my wrists from holding it and shaking it. So I feel like this is very nice because even during the concert you can actually use it if you need to take a break from holding the light stick. So this is a very clever piece of merch in my opinion. The next piece of merch I'm going to show you is not actually official merch, but it's Hanimi hair clips. And my best friend got me these in a gacha in Japan, and I use them all the time to do my makeup and to do my skincare because, as you can tell, I have bangs, so I need to get my hair out of my face. So these are actually wonderful. And they're just so cute and I love them. Please ignore my forehead. Oh my god. I also have this t-shirt. It's a little wrinkled because I wore it yesterday. I apologize. So on the front you have a hand-drawn Hanimi, and on the back it says, "Do you want to be the one, zero base one?" I absolutely adore this t-shirt. It's 100% cotton. It's super lightweight. It's super comfortable. I wear it all the time. And because it's white, it's very easy to pair off with like any kind of jeans or like a denim skirt or anything. So the last piece of zero base one merch that I'm going to show you, of course, is my necklace. I wear this necklace almost every day, and I have worn it almost every day for the past 2 years that I've had it. And I feel like it's a very subtle piece of merch, and it's actually very, not only is it discreet, but it's actually also very, very cute and dainty, and it fits my style very well. It's not too big, it's just a little flower. No one can tell that it's merch, but I know that it's merch of my favorite group, and it is very important to me, and so I'm very thankful that I get to own this piece of merch and that I'm able to wear it so often. And now I have 2 more pieces of merch that I want to show you, and they're both N-Team merch, and that will wrap up the part about like non-album merchandise. So the first one is this Garden Blind box. So it's just a little storage box. I have like a few freebies in there that I need to sort, but I feel like it's very useful because you can use it for so many things, and we always need a little tin box like this to store like stickers or anything like that. So it says Going Blind on it, if you can't tell. So yeah, it's just a very, very discreet, very useful piece of merch. And then the other one is this little pouch. So it says From Harua, has a little heart on it. I actually store my earplugs in there so they don't get dusty. This is merch from a FanCon they held in 2025 for Valentine's Day. So they had like a Valentine's Day themed FanCon. So this is why it's like brown. I think it's meant to be like chocolate kind of color, and it has a little heart, and it's like shaped like a letter. So it's like the entire thing was like Valentine's Day themed. I also got like a ring keyring from that FanCon. So like the entire merch for that was like themed like very like Valentine love kind of merch. So yeah. Okay, so now let's move on to albums. I'm not going to spoil anything. I have a few different groups, and these I selected for very different reasons, so I'm just going to explain why. The first ones are actually 3 albums. So if you're Stay, you might recognize this. These are the limited versions for the Clay series that Stray Kids released in 2019. They have other albums that have limited editions, but these ones, that was like before they really had their huge breakout to the public, and these are like harder to find now. They're actually like I don't know if they're sought after particularly, but I would imagine that it's definitely harder to get a hand on them. because it was really before Stray Kids got really famous. Levanter is actually my favorite Stray Kids album, so I'm very happy to have a limited edition of that album. The second album I want to show you is an Anteam album, and it's First Hiling Now. And this is one of my absolute favorite concepts in all of K-pop. And again, I have been a K-pop stan for a really long time. But genuinely, I adored this concept so much. And I'm trying to actually get all of the photo cards where they're wearing these outfits, so the night ball outfits, because I just adore this styling so much, especially Yuju, who's my bias checker. He just looked way too good in that concept. So that's why I picked this album, just really because I think this is one of top 3 favorite concepts in K-pop ever. So yeah. The next album I'm going to show you is very special because it was the first album that I ever bought with my pocket money when I was 14. And it's an album that came out exactly 10 years ago, and I have actually been listening to it a lot again recently because, as you know, 2026 is the new 2016, and I mean, I never really stopped listening to this album, but recently I have been obsessed all over again, and it's the NCT 127 debut album. So it's a very it's a very normal looking album, and it's not that special looking, but it is very special to me because it was my first album, and I happened to pull Hichan in it, and he was my old bias at the time, so that was a crazy experience for a little 14-year-old me. So yeah, no, it's just a very regular album with like pictures inside. I think it came with like a concept photo card and like a regular selfie photo card. So yeah, that's just why I picked it. And I think to this day, this is still such a relevant album in terms of music. And also like the cover is just so NCT, and I feel like it just established NCT 127 sound so well. And it is one of my favorite K-pop albums ever. To this day, 10 years after, I feel like it is still so relevant, and it was so innovative at the time. I love this album so much. The next album I'm going to show you is very special to me because it is a group that I used to adore. I mean, I still adore them, but they have disbanded and have been disbanded for 6 years now. But it is a group that I just adore so much because I watched the Survival show when I was 16, and I was the exact same age as some of the members, and I felt like I really grew up with them. And in terms of music, I just love their discography, and there will never be another group like them. So this is their debut album, and it's One The Nine's debut album. So usually when I mention One The Nine, I'm either met most of the time with people who don't know who they are, and it's okay, I know they're a little nouveau, but when people know who they are, it's always like, oh my god, One The Nine. Like, I've never really met anyone who knew them and didn't like them, and they have a really good discography, and we're very lucky that some of the members are still very active in the K-pop industry. And I was born just a day before Doyeon, and he was my pick on Under 19, and I've been his fan since then. In March, I actually got the chance to meet him at Just concert, and I got to take a selfie with him, and I got to tell him I had been his fan since Under 19, and that was such a wonderful experience for me as a fan because I have been supporting him since Under 19, and then in One The Nine, and then in Just Be, and so it's just, I think it's one of my best experiences as a K-pop fan ever for obvious reasons, and he's an idol that I cherish so much and that I admire so much. I was so lucky to be able to meet him, and obviously like the other members of One The Nine that are still active in the industry, I also support as much as I can as well. And the last album I'm going to show you, I actually have 2 versions of this album, and it's a very recent album, but I loved the format and I love the artistic direction, so I thought I would show it. And it's Islet's most recent album. So this is the Popo version, and I have both of my biases versions, so Mocha, who's my bias record, and Wonnie, who's my bias. these albums are just so cute, and the format is just so adorable, and I love the concept that they went with for this version specifically with their representative animals. I feel like it's so Eyelet, but like everything about the artistic direction for this screams Eyelet. But I have several Eyelet albums, and in terms of inclusions especially, this one is definitely the best, and so that's why I wanted to show it. So yeah, that's it for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I apologize for the sun shining through the blinds and just projecting onto my face. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end, and I hope you liked it, because as I said, K-pop is my special interest. I just love sharing it with people and getting to talk about it. So I hope you enjoyed listening to me as much as I enjoyed making this video, because it was very special to me, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!